Shalom. Kol halalim la Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Hawshai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Hawshai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Hawshai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, Kol halalim la Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the prophets of the body, and shalom to the 144,001 May peace and blessings be upon your households. The spirit of endurance. Matthew 24:24. For there shall arise false. There shall arise false Christs, false Hamashiachs, and false prophets, and shall shew great signs and wonders, in so much that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. All right. And there's an article I found. All right, it's from June the 15th, 2025. A page called Global Times. China's first invasive brain computer interface clinical trial launched, achieving positive results. Okay. Now I can control the computer with my thoughts. It feels like I can move at will, said the tetraplegic patient involved in China's first in-human clinical trial of an invasive brain computer interface BCI device. What's a tetraplegic? Let's get the definition of that. What is a tetraplegic? A tetraplegia, also known as quadriplegia, is a condition where there's a loss of motor and or sensory function in the arms, hands, trunk, legs, and pelvic organs due to damage to the cervical neck portion of the spinal cord. This results in paralysis from the neck down, affecting all four limbs. All right, cause. It is typically caused by injury to the spinal cord and the neck region. Symptoms include paralysis, loss of sensation in arms, hands, trunk, legs, and pelvic organs. Impact. What do they refer to the trunk? What is it? What does that mean, trunk? What is the definition of trunk in quadriplegia? Trunk. Get find another page. Let's see. What is the definition of trunk in the body, in the human body? Oh, the torso is a central part of the body, including the head, neck, and limbs. Okay. All right. It's referring to the torso. Okay. Severity. The level of severity of paralysis can vary depending on the specific location and extent of spinal cord damage. All right. So basically, it's severe paralysis. Okay. All right. Let's go back to the article. Now, see, they're trying to mimic the Most High's spiritual power on the right hand side, which is using your mind, because the mind is a powerful thing. Like that movie Lucy, right, where she's able to use 100% of her brain power, and she's able to do miraculous things. Because if you use all of your brain power, I believe we use 10% of it. Hence the reason we're limited to our abilities. So what they're trying to show on the left-hand side of this brain computer, CHIP, is simply the fact that you're going to have some form of spiritual power, which is on the left hand side, of course, where you're going to be able to use your mind. A lot of quadriplegics or tetraplegics or people with paralysis in general will be able to have their, uh, somewhat, they'll be able to be somewhat independent again. You know, I don't know how it helps with. I'm not too sure on the how it helps with a man who's lost his feelings from below his waist. If he's a married man, if he has a wife or a woman, girlfriend or whatever, because that relationship ain't gonna last long, especially if he can't really perform the duties in the bedroom. So in that respect, I don't know whether it help in that area or not. They haven't really touched on that. That's what I was trying to find out what the definition of trunk was. I thought maybe that was another meaning or some kind of medical term for the genital area for a man. I guess I don't know. I don't know. All right, but a lot of people are going to be pushed into a corner. All right, when you're pushed into a corner, because they're not going to just say, "Yo, bang on the door," say, "Oh, you got to take the CHIP." No, they're gonna first, leave you to your devices, and then they're gonna um, put you in a situation where you're going to have to need to take it. You know, you might have, you might be given a certain limited time, to use the money that you have left in your account, or maybe given some kind of prepaid card to use a certain amount of your money that's in your account. I don't know how Esau's going to do it. Only the Lord knows, right? Only other one knows. And they might give you a limited amount of time to use it, or they might cut the money off altogether. And you might say to yourself, okay, the bills are paid up. We've got plenty of food in the house, and we've got enough food to last 3 months. We'll wait it out. We'll do something. Some people will fall and end up taking the CHIP because they want normalcy back. They want to hold on to their job. Once they're pushed into a corner, a lot of people will fold and take the CHIP because they've got no other avenue, especially the heathens, because this is their world, the so-called white man and the heathens. This is their world. They will take it, right? And a lot of Israelites that have sold out that can't see that it's a CHIP. Now, since they can't, people like Chief Ephraim and other Israelites that feel that the Revelation 13:16 is not the MO to the T to the B, it's not the CHIP, they'll take it because they want to justify it. They want to prove so badly the fact that the MO to the T to the B is not a physical CHIP, right? They will take it because it will be the new form of digital currency because the world is going digital. They're getting rid of physical money. They're getting rid of large denominations of money. Gone are the days of the money belt when people used to walk around with $1,000 notes. I believe there were $1,000 notes back in the day. Whether they have, I don't know if they got them right now, but they had $1,000 notes. Uh, what was that movie with Robert De Niro in it, man? With the anyway, forget about it. But people had like money belts with huge denominations of money. People could carry $300,000 or damn near $500,000 or back in the day in a damn money belt. That's how much money you could carry back in the day. Large denominations. They're getting rid of large denominations of money. They were saying the money is tainted during the 1-9 thing. Now they're talking about new diseases around the world. My neighbor who's a Moabite was saying that, oh, there's a new disease that's come out in India. I said, didn't it try to start in your country first in China? She goes, nah, yeah, it's gone to India now. New, the 1-9 thing, whatever. Even regular people are finding about different, skirmishes and different scuffles of, a little, about the war as well as, diseases, that are just coming out of the blue. All these different news outlets, that are not all necessary in English. Some could be just straight Moabite news stations where my Moabite neighbor, understands and she's giving me the lowdown. Or someone who speaks, I don't know, Spanish might give me the lowdown of different news that's from another part of the world, so forth and so on, right? So they're going to ultimately take your freedoms away. And because the so-called white man hates you, Jake, so much, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives, what they're going to do is they're going to sacrifice a lot of their freedoms to get at you. Because if they feel that, okay, you can be put into further subjugation, you Israelites, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives, Esau will say, you know what? Like they did give up their guns in California and other parts of the world, right? They say, okay, yeah, we'll give up our firearms as long as those ninjas are kept in line. Oh, we'll give up our freedoms as long as those ninjas are kept in line. That's how they think. Then when their freedoms are taken away, ultimately, the so-called white man, the elites are killing two birds with one stone. All right, they're making you the problem, And the solution is going to be take freedoms away of the so-called problem, which is the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives, which is a problem of the so-called white man and the heathen nations, right? They'll take your freedoms away, and in turn, at the same time, they're going to take the so-called white man's freedoms away, and then they're going to get everybody. You know, Jacob's trouble, Jeremiah 30 verse 7 is going to be everybody's trouble. Okay, let me just read the rest of. See, they're trying to mimic the Most High's miracles, using your mind to move things and that nature, right? The Global Times learned from the Shanghai-based Center for Excellence in Brain Science and Intelligence Technology, CEBSIT or SEBSIT, at the Chinese Academy of Sciences on Sunday that the center, in collaboration with the Fudan University's Hoshan Hospital, has launched the country's first ever clinical trial of high throughput wireless invasive BCI on March the 5th, 2025. And through minimally invasive surgery, they successfully implanted China's first wireless invasive brain computer or BCI system in a patient with tetraplegia on March the 25th. Is it brain computer interface? Let me just get the correct. What does BCI stand for? Brain computer interface. Sometimes called a brain machine interface, BMI, is a direct communication link between the brain's electrical activity and an external device, most commonly a computer or robotic limb. You know, like they had that Edomite girl on the BBC or some British show. I think it's called This Morning. Is it This Morning? You know, where she was basically a man. You know, very similar to the Terminator movie, the 1992 movie. You know, that robotic type arm. The patient involved in the trial lost all his four limbs in a high voltage electrical accident 13 years ago. They've got to chuck the 13 in there, right? Per the center, since the device was implanted in March 25th, 2025, it has operated stably in his brain with no infection or electrode failure reported to date, according to the research team. But nothing's going to affect the mobile, right? They eat everything out there, and nothing affects them. So this, this surgery is going to be okay on a mobile. BCI technology establishes a direct communication and control connection between the brain and external world. It is not only a window to understanding the brain's information processing mechanisms, but also a promising path for treating diseases and exploring the next generation of human-computer interaction modes. Shi Hongyong, a deputy director of the SEBSIT, told the Global Times. Okay, such BCI system, according to the SEBSIT, is expected to gain regulatory approval and enter the market by 2028. We're in 2025 now. Okay. Lord willing, it doesn't take that long because we don't want to be here even in 2028. But we've got to wait upon Yahweh Shem Hashai, know the way around it. I don't want to it doesn't take that long. It is anticipated to significantly improve the quality of life for millions of patients with complete spinal cord injuries, bilateral upper limb amputations, and amyotrophic lateral sclerosis by providing motor function replacement technology. All right. Ultimately making into some kind of Robocop, really. You know? You see in the movie Robocop, first one. According to the state broadcaster CCTV, China's National Health Center Security Administration on March 12th released the guidelines for establishing pricing items for neurological medical services, which specifically designated separate pricing items for BCI technologies, including invasive BCI implantation fee, invasive BCI implantation fee, and invasive BCI removal fee. Once local authorities align with the and implement these guidelines, BCI medical service fees will have a standardized basis. This means that as soon as the BCI technology matures, the pathway for service fee charges in clinical applications is already in place. They're just getting things ready, man. They're getting the pricing ready. They're getting the implementation fee ready and the removal fee ready. Now, what they're trying to say is that if you can have it, take it, put it in, and remove it too. You know, I don't know, but I don't know. They haven't done any trials of removing it, so removing is going to be virtually impossible because it's going to like your vital organs and all the sort of I don't know the technical term because I'm not no medical person, but all the your human so-called wiring and all your ligaments and everything are going to be sort of wrapped around that particular technology. It's going to be hard to pull out, and even if you do pull out, your vital organs will be shredded. You'll bleed to death, right? It'll be virtually impossible to take it out. I mean, the Lord did say you're going to get a sore. You know. Let's see how long it is. If there's anything else, let me just read this. ah, Compared with the neural electrodes used in the invasive BCI system developed by Neuralink, the only company currently in clinical trials founded by Elon Musk, the Shanghai-based Sebsit holds a leading position in neural interface technology. All right, so you got in America and China, man. They're both at the forefront of this. And China is everywhere. Chinese people are everywhere, man. Sleeper cell soldiers, motherfuckers coming to every part of the world and buying tons of land and buildings and businesses, and they're everywhere, man. I've seen a ton of them all around London. You know, I've been hearing stories of people abroad as well saying that all these Chinese are coming from just everywhere. They're just coming out like they're just breeding like maggots. You know, The neuroelectrodes of the Chinese team are the smallest in size and most flexible one in the world, with a cross-sectional area only one-fifth to one-seventh that of Neuralink's electrodes and flexibility over 100 times greater. So this is apparently better than Neuralink. Such strength allows brain cells to barely perceive the presence of a foreign object, significantly reducing damage to brain tissue per the center. These ultra-flexible neural electrodes boast high density, wide ranging, high throughput, and long-term stable in vivo neural signal acquisition capabilities. The implant, with a diameter of 26 millimeters, which is 2.6 centimeters, you get a ruler and see how small that is, and a thickness less than 6 millimeters, which is just over half, less than 6 centimeters, or less than half a centimeter thick, is a world's smallest brain-controlled implant, roughly the size of a coin. All right. So we read the core things there. So while the war is going on, they're normalizing this. All right. Now, as mentioned, to take freedoms away of you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives, the so-called white man will give up his freedoms to get at you. All right. And obviously, this is going to collectively affect everyone. All right. People will take it to hold on to what they have. People will take it for normalcy. And people will take it, especially that are paraplegics or tetraplegics, to take it to have their normal functions back, how they were before their accident, or a lot of these people long to be so-called normal. They walk around, they're in wheelchairs. They were born, some of them were born like that. And that's why the Lord created people to be paraplegics, certain heathens to be that way, so they can be used in these clinical trials when they're born, so they can walk around, so they can entice the other greater population. Okay, and the greater population will think, shit, look at these paraplegics. If they can walk around and backflip and shit and do martial arts, and they can move things with their mind, how much more me as an able-bodied person, if I take it, how much more I can do? It'll be that factor as well as people that want to hold on to what they have, their wealth, their mental stability, able to feed their children. A lot of people are going to fold, man, because they don't have no outlet. They don't have no avenue. The elect have the outlet. They have the avenue. They have that straight gate of Yahweh Bashem Yashai. We have the name of Yahweh Bashem Yashai and the straight gate. We know that there's better times. The elect are not going to fold. All right. They didn't fold when it came to the 1-9. All right. They've jumped over that hurdle, and they'll jump over this one. Okay. Scripture. Revelation 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. All right? And you know time is going quick, but time is not going quick enough. You know what I mean? Because our frail human bodies are going through dealing with fast time. We feel even more worn out, you know? But this is beautiful because we're getting closer to the kingdom. You know, the Lord is drawing near, man. You know, Yahweh Shemeshai is drawing near. All right. I'm just going to read the core ones. I mean, it's all beautiful, the scriptures, but you know, let's get to the point. Revelation. I mean, these are miracles, you know, on the left hand side, which are going to entice a lot of people. You know, there's going to be many factors. There's going to be health factors. People want to be normal again. There's financial factors. People want to hold on to what they have. They want to pay their bills. They want to go work. You know, they want that optimism. You know, they want to think about that the future will be better for them, their children, their grandchildren. You know, uh, third factor is going to be safety as well. You know, you never know, they might stage a bunch of kidnappings of children, which they're doing anyway, but they might put it, you know, amplify it more in the media, and that will scare people into getting their children hipped as well. You know, a lot of single people that only have dogs and cats as friends, you know, that are lonely, they might get their dogs and cats hipped for safety. You know, and if they do that, to start with, and they start saying, okay, you know what, let's get ourselves and our loved ones hit, because a lot of children are being you know, kidnapped or whatever. There could be many factors. We don't know what Esau's going to do to scare the hell out of people. You know, because there's many folds, because they're going to have a situation for every kind of temperament and mindset and problem out there. You got a financial issue, you got the hip for that, to alleviate that, which is you take it, you're going to get paid, you're going to have a job. Okay, you're scared of your family, you're going to get them hip, because you can find out their location, where they're based at, where they're at, where your children are. You'll be able to track them. All right. You got elderly that are got dementia, right? You're taking care of your older elderly parents or grandparents or whatever, that you live together, because you're the eldest in the family, and you know, you may not be married, or you're divorced, and you're the only eldest son or grandson or whatever, and you're taking care of your elderly. You might get your elderly here, because you don't want them to uh, get lost or whatever. You know, okay. And also the convenience and technology change around the world as well of certain things, you know, uh, for you know, people want to keep their their things safe, their house safe, their whatever they have in their bank account is credits or digital credit, digital money, whatever. They want to keep that safe. So a lot of people will get rid of the, you know, they're already using Apple Pay, already using their phones, and the next thing they'll probably do is they'll have that phone in your hand, you know, or in your ear, you know, or something along those lines, you know. So there's many factors, man, they're going to use, you know, but ultimately to control you people, because they want to. The so-called white man wants to be like God. They want to be all-seeing, all-knowing, you know. They want to know what you're thinking, you know. You know, that's why they show you movies like uh, Minority Report, you know, the thought police, you know, before you know, if if you have a thought like, oh yeah, I want to take down this damn so-called government, and you know, I've got 30 of my boys with me, and we all armed to the teeth, and we're all ex Marines or whatever. And you know, Esau knows about you. You know, some of you people that are going to do shit like that, they'll come and arrest you. You know, and they're already doing something along those lines, because you know, whatever you're thinking sometimes shows up on your screen, right? Whatever you're thinking of buying, whatever you're thinking of watching, you know, certain things like that pop up on the screen, right? And that's the, you know, a low level version of it. Revelation, let's go to Revelation 13:16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, a charagma, in their right hand or in their foreheads. Verse 17. And that no man might buy or sell, save that he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. All right, you won't be able to buy or sell without it. How are you going to buy or sell, man, when there's no cash? All right. And if you know, if only cash is used in one country, how's another country going to do commerce or business with another country? All right. If one country is using cash, another country isn't. How are they going to do business? So they're all going to be on one platform of the charagma, digital currency. That's why most of the powerful countries right now are at the forefront of this digital technology, and China one of the superpowers. You know, all right. And America, which is an illusion, is a form of a superpower as well. Hence the reason why they're pushing it, because they're New Egypt, and the rest of the world will fall in line. You know, okay. So with World War brewing, with the situation brewing with Iran and America, okay, which goes to show that we're even closer to the Charagma. This is around the corner. The Charagma is the mark of the mark of the BEAST. All right. Here is wisdom, verse 18. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 600 threescore and six, 666. All right. All right. This is the mark of the BEAST, man. All right. The way wacky tacky Christians even know that this is the mark of the BEAST, but then you got Israelites like Chief Ephraim and IUIC and other crazy people out there that don't believe it's a physical CHIP when it all alludes to that. You know, you're supposed to know that every scripture, some scriptures are physical, some are spiritual, some are allegorical. With this CHIP is damn near, it is physical, man, and it's the real deal. All right. Okay, so yeah, man, China's first invasive brain computer interface clinical trial launched, and it's achieving positive results. And this is from June the 15th, 2025. Well, when was the 16th? 16th was a Monday. Yeah, so it's from the 15th, it's from the 15th of June, which was Sunday last week. Anyway, so as you can see, things are progressing, man, and there'll be more of this shit popping up. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. Shalom Bawakar, by the way. It's Monday. You know how Mondays are. God and your daily bread. Anyway, all praises to Yahweh B'Hashem Yashai B'Hashem Rakak Wadash Mawatha Bad Babal Kwam Yashwala. Shalom.